Hello everyone, welcome to Rocks Online. My name is Sadie and I have a really fun belly dance drill for you today. It's not necessarily beginner technique, but I am known for breaking down techniques that even beginners can start to play around with more advanced, complicated drills. And that's what we're going to do here today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started with one of our most quintessential movements in rock sharky belly dance, and that is going to be our hip isolations. So these are really fun, and you'll see these in a lot of different dances, and I have to say that I think belly dance has continued to inspire all kinds of modern forms of dancing, whereas in the last 10 years especially, maybe since Shakira, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot more of this kind of accentuated hip work in the popular dances that we see. So we want to keep our knees softly bent, and then we want to drive those hips up using our core and our oblique muscles. So you need to keep your pelvis tucked. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen through the spine. And while we're staying lengthened through the spine, we're also going to keep those shoulders down and relaxed so that you elongate the neck. So you're going to feel a little bit of traction between the chin and the collarbones, traction between the collarbones and the tailbone. So we want that belly button pulled in. Nice long spine. Energy coming out through the top of the head. And then we are driving those hips upward. You're going to feel a slight shift of weight from one foot to the other. So as I'm taking those hips into those vertical isolations, I'm going to feel the weight shifting left and right, left, then right, then left, then right. Now I want to be careful that as I shift the weight that I don't push the hips outside of my body center.
Sorry, can you repeat? I'm going to shift. I bumped into the tripod a little
Okay.
bit. Sorry.
So I'm going to start to feel that shift of weight from one side to the other as I'm doing these vertical hip isolations. Now, what I want to be mindful of, and what you want to be mindful of, is that while my hips are going upwards, while I'm tilting my pelvis, I'm using my obliques to tilt my pelvis, and I'm also using a little bit of power from the leg, going from that soft bend to a slight extension. I'm never locking my knee joint though. I'm always keeping softness and openness in those knee joints. Tilting the pelvis, and all of that together is going to drive that hip upwards into that vertical isolation that we're looking for. And as I start to feel that weight shifting from side to side, I just want to be careful, and I want to keep the momentum coming up rather than pushing it out. Pushing it out. Do you see the difference? Okay, this one is a little bit more out of control. It's not to say that we can't use that move. We do use that move from time to time, but we're going for a really isolated movement here. And these type of isolated hip work is really unique to rock sharky, and that's why it's so exciting. So once again, let's check our posture. Our feet are pretty much together. They don't have to be touching. They shouldn't be more than hip width distance apart. Very soft bend in the knee. I wouldn't want to change my height at all. I just want to make sure that the knee joint is open and stays open. As you will notice, if my knees are locked, I don't have a whole lot of range of motion in my hips. I can only kind of twist or push, but I can't go vertical. So as soon as I open those knee joints by bending slightly, I can start to play around with that vertical tilting motion of the hips. Okay, so that's really what we're going for today. So again, check that posture. Make sure you understand how those mechanics work. And belly button pulled in. Okay, so I really want to be in a neutral positioning with the pelvis, meaning I don't want to stick my backside out and drop my front side down. I actually want to do the opposite. I want to drop my backside down and I want to tilt the front side up ever so slightly. And this is going to put focus and emphasis on the hips where we want it for this style of dance. And then again, I'm going to inhale, start to feel lengthening through the spine, and then I'm going to hold that as I exhale. Shoulders relaxed. a lot to think about, right? But now you know the proper foundation when you're practicing at home. Let's go ahead and put that together now to give us those vertical hip isolations. Using your obliques to tilt the hips and using some power from the legs as well to help assist. Keeping your knees softly bent. As you change from one hip to the other, there is some straightening in the leg, but I'm not going to be locking my knee joint out. That's really important. And I see that a lot with new dancers, is this kind of jamming back into the knee joint. You want to make sure you don't do that. So here you can see the difference. Here I'm jamming back into my knee joint. Here I'm just keeping the knees softly bent. Hips coming up and up and up and up. Great, now that we have our vertical hip isolations, how about we start to play around with some other types of movements that we can layer on top. The first one is going to be a twisting motion. So I want to keep everything about my posture exactly the same as when we were doing the vertical hip isolations. I want to keep the belly button pulled in. I want to keep the bottom down and the front side coming up. So if you think of the top of your hip bones, the top of your hip bones are tilting back, giving you this nice zipped up feeling through the front of your tummy. Twist and twist and twist and twist and twist and twist. And the next one we're going to do is a slide and a slide. Push, 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 push. Now again, like I said, this is not beginner technique, but I'm just breaking it down so that if you're new to belly dance and you've always wanted to try, you can start to see the magic that you can do with your body. So belly dance to me is one of the most beautiful dance forms on the planet. I studied in Egypt. I have a lot of Egyptian teachers who have shared their knowledge with me, and I'm so grateful. And belly dance is popular worldwide, so no matter where you are, you can probably find a teacher. And there's just so many exciting things that we can do and learn in Rock Sharky belly dance. So now that we have the slide, horizontal, and twist, we're going to add that on top of our vertical hip isolations. So let's talk a little bit about weight change when we feel that slide. I want you to feel that as you're sliding, you're also shifting that weight ever so slightly, but that you're keeping the pant line horizontal. I know this is going to be hard because you're going to be adding those vertical hip isolations on top of this movement. So one is going horizontal while the hips are going vertical. Okay, think we can try it? So when we start to layer, we want to make sure that we have our base move always down. So the most important move right now is going to be those vertical hip isolations. What you can do is just drop into place in center, be working on those vertical hip isolations, and then when you feel ready, you can add one of the layers. If it starts to fall apart when you add the layer, just stop and come back to the vertical hip isolations in place and take a little breath and then restart again. Okay, so you can even start to think about it before you do it, which is what we're going to do. So as we're working our vertical hip isolations here, left hip, right, I want to start to think about twisting that left hip forward and then changing right hip forward. Twisting left hip forward, twisting right hip forward. Bring it back. Left hip forward, neutral, right hip forward, neutral. All while I'm keeping these vertical hip isolations going. Should we try? Looks like this. 1, 2, center, and 1, 2, center, and left hip, right hip, left hip, right hip. So I'm still keeping my vertical hip isolations alternating left to right, left and right, and left and right. I'm just now twisting the whole pelvis forward on the left and the right as I do those vertical hip isolations. So once again, here we are in place, vertical hip isolations, left and right and left and right. Check your posture, belly button pulled in, soft bend in the knees. Make sure that you're not extending back or slamming back into the knee joints, locking the knee out. I want you to keep your knees soft the whole time, not so soft that you lose any height. belly button comes in, top of the hip bones drop back, tucking that seat under. Take a nice inhale. Make sure that your rib cage is not sagging into your waistline, and then drop the shoulders so that you have this beautiful traction from collarbone to the base of the spine and from collarbone to top of the head through the neck. Hips are going left and right. You might feel that weight shifting from the left foot to the right foot, but don't push. Keep those hips inside your body center. You're tilting the pelvis, not pushing it out. Tilting means we have to activate those core muscles. Legs are helping, but we're really using and working those core oblique muscles as well as our entire core that go through the front and the back. You might even actually feel it a little bit in your glutes. Some dancers like to add a little bit of a squeeze in the glutes as they're working their vertical hip isolations. It's a little bit more of an advanced technique, but you can use that as well. Now that we're on autopilot with those hips, let's think again about adding the twist. You're going to twist left hip forward, back to center. Right hip forward, back to center. 3 and 4, twist and center. So you're kind of getting one hip, center. 2 hips actually. A left and a right at the front, a left and a right at the center, a left and a right at the right front, a left and right at the center. 1, 2, 1, 2, twist for 2, center for 2, twist for 2, center for 2, twist for 2, center for 2. Left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. So you're technically doing a left and right at 4 different locations, and those locations are a front twist, left and right on the left, a center, left and right, front twist on the right with a left and right, back to center, left and right. So 3 locations, center, front twist on the left, and front twist on the right. Get those hips going, 2, 3, 4. If your arms get tired, you can always rest them on the hips. Let's add the twist. Here we go. 7 and 1, 2, center and twist and center and twist and center and twist and center. How's it going out there? Are you breathing? And are you smiling? Usually an indication, smiling or laughing. It's okay to laugh at yourself while you're learning. 1, 2, 1, 2, twist and center. We're going to add this layer onto one more, which is going to be a slide and a slide and a slide. This one is going to feel, to some of you, maybe a little trickier than the twist. 1, 2, 1, 2, slide it to the left. Same format. Slide, bring it back to center. Slide, bring it back to center. Slide, bring it back to center, slide, bring it back. Always keeping it left and right and left and right. Left and right and left and right. Left and right and left and right. You don't have to go too far out on that slide. Just think of kind of shifting that weight a little bit more deeper into the leg. Push, center, push, center. Okay, the reason I wanted to add that slide in there is because we can start to create one of our beautiful movements in Rock Sharky, which is known as a figure 8. So you're going to take that hip, twist it forward, slide it out. There's that slide, right? So the hip goes on the left, forward, slide it out, and twist to the back. Okay, now I'm in this kind of twisted position. This is where I'm going to cut through the center, shift the weight onto the right foot, and same thing for the right side. Shift that weight from the right to the left as you cut through your center on the twist, and then slide it out. Twist, slide it out, twist, slide it out, twist, slide it out, twist, slide it out. So yes, now we just completely changed our movement into a figure 8, which has a very different look and feel. You're probably still going to feel that weight shifting from one side to the other. Shift that weight left, shift that weight right. Maintain your posture, so the posture stays the same in all of these moves we're doing. You're keeping that belly button tucked in, zipped up through the front, tucked under through the back, elongated through the spine. Make sure you're breathing. Figure eight. Figure eight. I'm taking those hips, twisting it to the front, bringing it to the back using that slide. Cut through the center as I shift the weight. Bring it back. Cut through the center and shift the weight onto the left. And shift the weight. Twist and slide. Twist and slide. Shift the weight to the left. Weight to the right. Weight to the left. Weight to the right. And take a little inhale. We're going to put all this together with music. And make sure that you really listen to your body, because if you are coming to this video because you were curious for this little belly dance, complimentary belly dance class, then just know that once again, this is not a beginner technique, but I really want to give you something to really digest and work on, and to be even more curious about what comes next after some of these moves. So with our music, we are going to go into those vertical hip isolations and start to add some of the layers. So let's go ahead and mark the timing of the figure eight. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cutting through the center, shifting the weight on the 1, bringing it back, 6, 7, 8, change. 5, 6, 7, 8, change. 5, 6, 7, 8, shift the weight left, twist the hip back, change the weight right, twist the hip back. So you're changing the weight while that hip is twisted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nice and slow. That's going to really allow us to add that layer. Here's our hips. Hip, 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 hip. Remember, you can always stop the layer and just come back to the hip, or stop the hips and just go back to the figure eight. And when you feel like you can try adding them together. Here we go. 6, 7, 8, starting on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the right. Left. Take that figure eight over on the right. Figure eight on the left. And then transition over to the right. Back to the left. Now let's focus on the hips. Hip, left and right. Left and right and left and right. Left and right and left and right and left and right and left and right. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Shake it off. We're going to try it one more time. We're going to speed the figure eight up into 4 counts per side, 8 counts for full figure eight. So now the speed will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For some of you, that might feel a little more natural. And for some of you, that might feel a little harder. So let's go ahead and drill both, just the figure eight, then the hips, and put them together. Figure eight first, starting on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, left side change, right side change, left foot, right foot. Feel that weight shift. Check your posture, belly button in. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure your rib cage is not slumping down into your waistline. All this stuff is very hard to remember, I know. I remember the days when I was learning to, and it felt like impossible to remember all these things, but I promise you, you can. Back to the hips. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, before we add that figure eight, let's think about it. Figure eight, left side, right side, left side, right side. So both sides start with a left and a right hip. Left and right, left and right, left and right, and here we go. Twist and slide, twist and slide. Change, change. Left and right, left and right, left and right, and left and right. Let's go back to just the figure eight. Left, right, left, right, and in place, just the hips. 2 moves that you can continue to practice and refine on your own is that figure 8 and these vertical hip isolations, and then you can start to play naturally on your own. Pick whatever music you love, put it on a couple minutes a day, and I promise you're gonna get better and better. And the sky is really the limit with these layers. We have so many fun, exciting layers in belly dance. And one layer I want to show you is we can take these vertical hip isolations and turn them into a shimmy. And then we can start to layer that figure 8 now on top of our shimmy, and it looks like this. And all of that comes from that same foundation of working those moves independently and then very slowly and methodically beginning to layer them nice and slow, and then we just continue to build it up. Great job with that tutorial. I know that those moves are not easy, even though we can coin them as beginner. They're actually not beginner once we start to put it together with the layers, so you did a really good job. And what I wanted to do with this tutorial is to really pique your curiosity and see what the possibilities are for Rock Sharky belly dance. It's really incredible. I'm always trying to convince people to give it a try, so if you have seen belly dance out there and you've always wanted to try it, we have a really exciting offer for you. You can come visit our online school, Rocks Online, and you can get a free week trial. So you can try all of our almost 400 class catalog for free for 1 week. And from there you can choose if you want to continue with us. We have 2 options for membership. We have a monthly and we have a yearly, and monthly is $24.99. You can get your first month for 50% off with code ROCKON. So we'll put the code in the description below for you to check it out. And we really hope to see you at Rocks Online. Not only do we have almost 400 streaming classes that you can watch at any time in all kinds of genres of dance, as well as fitness and yoga. We have kettlebell workouts. We have amazing instructors. It's not just me. We have dozens of instructors bringing you the best, highest quality dance and fitness classes. And we have dancers, source dancers. We have dancers from Lebanon, dancers from North Africa, dancers from Egypt, dancers from Brazil, dancers from Polynesia. So we are really trying to bring you the best, most exciting content straight from the source here at Rocks Online. So go ahead and get signed up and join the fun. We hope to see you there.